Hey everyone, how you all doing? And welcome back to another Go Battle League video. We are doing Go Battle League. I had a really good climb with this team. Huge shout out to my friend Caleb Pang, who made a video earlier in the season on this team, and it did incredibly well for me. Now, he was using Mega Gyarados with Outrage, and I do have Outrage for the first couple of battles, but then I switched it to Crunch. I feel like I just want the faster pacing with Crunch. But the team has been fantastic. We even beat Zacian leads, which is absolutely wild. I climbed really well. I'm still not Legend. The season is coming to an end soon. Will I hit Legend? I guess we'll find out. I'm hoping I do. If I don't, it is what it is. I know I could have played it better throughout the season. We'll try it next season, but there's still a possibility I do hit it. We'll still play until the very end. But yeah, we got a lot of battles for you. Let's go ahead and see what we get. So starting things off, Zacian lead. So usually I stay in, but not against Zacian leads. Obviously that's a really bad lead, but even if I battled another lead like Florges, I would stay in. The ABA Fairy team. Okay, so we're seeing Florges right now. And this is obviously kind of tough. They do get off the attack. I'm going to hope that it's a Moonblast and that they don't bait with Chilling Water. Chilling Water would be kind of a crazy bait. So I wasn't expecting it, but I do get off another Aqua Tail. And I'm going to go ahead and throw it. And I'm going to throw my next Aqua Tail because I have it. So I'm going to KO it or get a shield from my opponent. They do shield, but at this point, as long as this is a Moonblast, I know I can shield and farm down. At least I think I can. So that's what I'm going to go for, and it is a Moonblast. Luckily, they don't bait us, and I do get that farm down. So that Ho-Oh will be aligned to the Zacian. Love to see it. But obviously I can't switch out, so I'm going to go ahead and stay in here. This is how I play the Zacian leads. I safe swap into the Palkia. Because Zacian does not have a fairy charge attack, right? So if they throw close combat, they do get debuffed, and you need 2 close combats. Behemoth Blade is resisted. So Palkia into Zacian, honestly not the worst matchup, so they're probably going to switch out, I'm going to be completely honest. They do take me out, that's totally fine. Out comes Mega Metagross. I'm going to go ahead and just throw the Brave Bird, which is probably a mistake because I know they know it's only a Brave Bird. But whatever. I did go ahead and throw it. I just didn't want them to get to an attack against Ho-Oh, but even if they did, honestly, we could take the Medium Ash, we could take the Earthquake. We resist it. We resisted all unless they're Psychic, which I don't expect. My opponent does shield that. That's totally fine. They actually do make a good catch onto Zacian right now, but it's not really gonna matter at this point because I'm just going to be able to farm this down. One Incinerate will KO the Mega Metagross, so we are going to be able to win that. But it is important that you generally do flip switch with Palkia Origin. Next battle, oh my gosh, it's another Zacian. Hate to see it. Just throw 1 Dragon Breath and switch into my Palkia Origin right now. They are staying in. To throw an attack. So okay, I'm like, okay, you know, these are my first battles. I'm going to go ahead and shield. Close combat, still going to do a lot. I figured they would switch, and they do switch into Zekrom. So I'm like, okay, I do have 2 Spatial Runs ready to go. I do make a risky bait. You don't have to bait this, but I do bait, and it does pay off. And my opponent is going to go ahead and throw an attack. So I will shield, and I'm thinking, okay, Fusion Bolt, I think I could make 2 Spatial Rens. So I charge up to back. No reason to bait now. I have 2 Spatial Rens. I'm going to be able to KO the Zekrom. And my opponent knows it, so they just take the shield advantage. Because I would have been able to land the next attack. Oh my gosh, Groudon comes in. Love to see it. Love to see it. Primal Groudon, Aqua Tail. We'll get the shield, and then we land another one. Not enough to KO. Primal Groudon is an absolute monster. But you know, so is Mega Gyarados. So I do get off this Aqua Tail. We know the Ho-Oh is going to beat that Zacian. So 2 Zacian leads, first 2 battles, and we're going to be able to flip switch and take both those wins. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Great game to my opponent. Okay, we're moving on to the next one. It's going to be Mega Gyarados into 1 Dragon Breath switch. Let's see what my opponent does. 3 Zacians. But you know what? We want to. Maybe we could win 3 in a row. I'm gonna go ahead and shield this. They do just what my last opponent did. Now they switch into Mega Latios. So Latios, I can never tell. But I'm gonna bait here, and my opponent does shield that. I'm gonna go ahead and shield that. So that was a great bait by me. OSP coming out. It's Mega Latios. So I do bait here, which I guess is a mistake. I think I could have made 2 Spatial Rents. They call it. Maybe I could have made 2 Spatial Rents, maybe not. But I'm going to go ahead and go for the Spatial Rent now. And they actually let that go. So that's good. Because we're going to have the alignment we need. So I'm going to bring in my Mega Gyarados. We know... I'm just going to throw... I just want to get as much damage as possible. I know this is double resisted. Not expecting the shield. But they actually do shield out with CMP. I was not expecting that. Spatial Rent is not enough to KO a Mega Gyarados. So we could take that just fine. Okay, I just want to... much damage as possible. Put it in 1 or 2 Incinerate. Right? And they do CMP tie. If they Aqua Tail, we live it. If they Spatial Rent, it will knock us out. They do Spatial Rent, so it does KO. So I'm like, now at this point, I could just farm this down, take an Aqua Tail. They do give us an Incinerate. So we could take an Aqua Tail right here. And I do farm down, and I have a Sacred Fire ready to go against that Zacian. And this is actually enough to KO. So the first 3 battles, Zacian leads, and we win them all. Crazy, crazy stuff. I don't win every Zacian lead, but like able to win 3 in a row. Crazy stuff. This is a great lead. Yes, they have Thunder, but we do resist the water full damage. And my opponent actually staying in. I do have Crunch. Now, you could go with Caleb's original Outrage, but honestly, I do like the Crunch, especially since Mega Metagross is now in the meta. Okay. They let me go for another one. I will get off this Crunch. Let's see if my opponent decides to shield it or they let it go. They do shield it. Thunder at this point, look how much the Waterfall damage did. We're like half health just from Waterfall. So I'm going to go ahead and respect the Thunder, and it is a Thunder. So would an Aqua Tail have KO'd? It may have KO'd. Maybe an Aqua Tail plus like a Dragon Breath. I just threw the Crunch because I wasn't sure. Primarina, okay. So Primarina I actually did battle quite a bit. I can't switch out here. Because I want the Ho-Oh aligned to this, which sounds crazy because Ho-Oh is a fire type, but Palkia doesn't want any part of that Charm damage, whereas Ho-Oh is fine against Charm, and we know we could live 1, right? We could live a Hydro. I'm going to go ahead and take that Hydro. It does a lot. Palkia coming in. I want to get the shield from my opponent, so I will stay in to throw the Brave Bird, and that's exactly what I do. And they do shield it. Very nice. So I do bring in my Palkia Origin. I was expecting them to bait, but I still decided to throw up the shield. But they actually full send it, which is good for me. Now I know I'm going to outpace them. And I do make it to the Spatial Run, which will be enough to KO. And the thing about Primarina is, yes, I am technically ABA weak to it. But Primarina just doesn't have the stats that the Megas have or that the other Legendaries have, right? So I did see a good amount of it, but it's not my favorite. Pokemon in like the Master League, the Open Master League. I think it's better in the Master Premier, right? So we do take that matchup. Great game to my opponent. Well played. But yeah, Primarina I guess is pretty difficult, but it's still going to make it work. Another Primal Kyogre. Let's go. Great lead. Can we have this victory? I guess we'll find out. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Crunch right now into this Primal Kyogre. My opponent is going to go ahead and let that go. We do get the defense drop, and they actually allow me to get off this attack. So that's really nice. So forcing a shield here. No, they let it go, so we just take that out. Primarina comes in. So they're going to get a lot of fun with the Primarina. So that is the bad part about it. Ho-Oh can generally do well against Primarina, but we can't have them get all this fun. But I also can't switch out. So I'm just going to do as much damage as possible. Until they charm me down. They actually switch into their Palkia, and I see the switch, so I go into my own Palkia. I'm going to go ahead and respect the Spatial Rend. They could very well bait here, but they don't. They full send it, so that's good. I'm going to go ahead and bait, though. I'm going to go ahead and bait, see if my opponent wants to shield this. They do want to shield it. Love to see it. Now I can get off the Spatial Rend against my opponent. This will be enough to KO. I wasn't sure if they would let this go or not. They do let it go. Because they do have a Primarina, maybe they can charm me down. But no, not. I would have gotten to that Aqua Tail. You see, that's what I'm talking about when it comes to the stats with these super powerful legendary Pokemon. I did decide to shield that just to get their final shield with Aqua Tail. So now I can bring in Ho-Oh. We live a Hydro, and I will be able to get off a Brave Bird and take this game. So that is going to be a great game to my opponent. Some lag. I was concerned a little bit. I think my opponent just force quit the app there, you know. But that's okay. We're going to be able to KO this Primarina. I'm telling you right now, we did really well with this team. So good game to my opponent. Let's move on to the next battle. Here we go. Mega Gyarados into... Ooh, love to see it. Love to see it. Okay. So let's see what they do. They are staying in. They do go for a catch against Lugia. Good attempt. I'm still going to decide to throw the crunch into Lugia because Lugia, super bulky. I know it could leave a crunch. And I want to get off one more crunch. And that's what I do. So I do throw another crunch to pick up the shield. And we'll see what my opponent does. You have to keep in mind, Ho-Oh does resist all the attacks besides the Dragon Tail from that Primal Groudon, but you'll still take a good amount of damage at the end of the day, right? From the Precipice Blaze, just because it's such a great move, and Groudon has a crazy, crazy stat product because it's a Primal Groudon. Ooh, okay, Kira Black, I believe that was. So I will get off my neutral Sacred Fire. And that will do so much damage. We do get the attack debuff. Love to see it. They do get off their attack. I'm not going to go ahead and shield this. I'm just going to let it go. And we have two Pokemon. You know, landing an Aqua Tail is going to be fantastic against the Groudon, right? And I do get all of that energy. And I'm just going to be able to... Once I land one Aqua Tail, it's not enough, but it's essentially game over once I land one. They tried to catch, which I thought was going to happen, but I'm just going to farm up a lot of energy and throw the Aqua Tail, and I do have back-to-back, and I still have that Palkia in the back as well. So my opponent will concede that. Good game, well played. Yeah, I did really well, and I was in the 2700s, lower 2700s, and I climbed to 2800s. I keep going back and forth, you know. I had some good days in Ultra League. They do switch out into Primarina. I'm going to switch into Ho-Oh a little bit late on the switch. But the thing about this is I don't necessarily need switch, right? Because I do have Mega Gyarados and Palkia, both of which do pretty well against Kyogre, right? Even the Primal version. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this attack. And my opponent will shield. Will they let me get off one more? Yes, they will. So they have to double shield because this will be enough to KO the Primarina if they don't. And they will double shield. Okay, so we'll take that double shield. And I bring back in the Mega Gyarados. Throw this attack. I might end up double shielding this Gyarados. I think they get off 2 attacks. Just because of the faster pacing on Charm, right? Yeah, there's a Disarming Voice. And yeah, they do get off another one. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and shield. And we'll see what they want to do. I'm going to farm up some extra energy, but I don't want to take too much. Oh, actually, no, I decided to farm down. Okay, that's right, I decided to farm down. Togekiss in the back, so double fairy. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and throw the Aqua Tail. I'm going to throw another Aqua Tail. I need one more to KO. Let's see if they let me get to it. I do get to it, but they actually catch on Primal Kyogre. That was a great play by my opponent. Did I say that they had Groudon in the back? I think I accidentally misspoke and said they have Primal Groudon in the back. I could be wrong, I don't know. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Palkia to go up against this. Great matchup for me. But if they're running Blizzard, it will be enough to knock me out. Thunder will not be enough to knock me out. And they have Thunder, the more common moveset, although it does do so much damage, but I do get that farm down, and I do get the Aqua Tail off into the Togekiss, which will be enough to knock it out. So we are able to beat that Kyogre double fairy team, but that seems like a really powerful team as well. Good game to my opponent. Let's go and move into the next one. Mega Gyarados into another Zacian lead, another lead. Can we win this one? Can we win 4 Zacian leads? Let's see. 1 Dragon Breath, go into Palkia, Primarina. Definitely rough because they are ABA Fairy, and this Fairy, unlike Florges not doing much damage to us, but the Primarina is doing a lot of damage with Charm. But I was wondering if I could get a shield. If I could get a shield, maybe we could do something. But one more is not enough to KO, unfortunately, so... it looks like I will not be able to get a shield. Yeah, I get that off, and they do KO me. So that's unfortunate there. But they actually don't throw an attack, So we do get the Incinerate down, which is pretty nice, but we'll see what's in the back. Oh, Gyarados, Mega Gyarados. So this is tough, right? Obviously, like the Zacian double water. I'm gonna go ahead and throw there. I wanted to get a shield advantage and see if we could make something work. They do throw an attack. I know it's not going to be close combat because they don't want to debuff themselves. I know it's going to be the Behemoth Blade, and it is. I was seeing what I could figure out. I'm going to go ahead and throw this Aqua Tail. Can I get to one more? I can get another one off. I do throw this Aqua Tail right now. And I do throw another one. This will be enough to KO if they allow it to go. But keep in mind, they still have a shield. And they do shield it. The problem I have here is a Brave Bird is not going to be enough to KO this Mega Gyarados, right? If it was enough to KO, we could win because I could shield this and get off my Brave Bird, which is what I'm going to do. I just wanted to see how much it would do. I knew it wouldn't be enough, though. So I do throw the attack right here. The Brave Bird. And they do get the farm down. They're going to be able to win this one. Great game to my opponent. I think they actually do have Outrage. It wouldn't have mattered even if they didn't. Because they have an attack here with Zacian, right? So, like, even if they didn't, it wouldn't have mattered. But yeah, they got that game. Good game to my opponent. Nice team, nice team. Well played, well played. Let's jump into the next battle. See who we're going up against. Okay, I know this trainer. Mega Gyarados into another Zacian. Zacian leads were really common, I'm not going to lie. Safe swap into that Palkia Origin. Waiting for them to throw, seeing if they want to, but no, it looks like they don't want to throw, so I am going to go ahead and throw. Obviously, you don't want to throw the close combat first because you don't want to get debuffed. So my opponent is going to wait for me to throw. I could have kept on farming, but I do end up throwing. It is close combat. They're actually going to double throw, so throw both moves. I like that play. But now we will KO them with one Aqua Tail. And they're actually staying in. I expected them to switch out after that, but no, they're staying in. Okay, pretty interesting. They let the Zacian go, but they do have two shields. Mega Gallade. I'm going to go ahead and bait here. Love to see the Mega Gallade. They do shield, which is nice. And I do make a Spatial Rend. Love to see it. Love to see it. Leaf Blade would do a lot to me. It would actually be enough to KO, but they let that go. I thought they were going to shield. And they do get this attack off, totally fine. Now, I do resist the Leaf Blade and the close combat with the Ho-Oh, so I'm going to bring in Ho-Oh. I do get my Incinerate through the Blind Throw, and it's going to be Leaf Blade, so I double resist that, no problem. Palkia coming in. Okay, so I will get off the Brave Bird, which will force the shield. Now, Mega Gyarados, I think I mentioned it earlier, but it can live a Spatial Rend. So I imagine that's what they throw. They're not going to throw Aqua Tail unless they're running Fire Blast. But no, they have Spatial Rend. But we don't live two, right? So I'm going to go ahead and get off the Crunch right here. Crunch is not quite enough to knock out, but it will do a good amount of damage. Almost knocking it out. And they do get off another Spatial Rend. They have to throw Spatial Rend because we live Aqua Tail, right? So there's a Spatial Rend. And I knew I would live in Aqua Tail here. And they do get to it, but I do live it. And I would live a Spatial Rend if they threw that as well, but they do throw the Aqua Tail, and I do live it, and we take that game. Another Zacian lead we defeat. Love to see it. Okay, this team was really doing well for me. Love to see the lead. Love to see the lead. Okay, I'm going to farm up. They do get off an attack. You could live the Spatial Rend, right? But I think it is worth committing a shield. I do not expect a bait. I'm going to go ahead and overfarm a lot of energy. Could be an Outrage, but honestly, they shield it anyway, and we get off another Crunch. So, still going to be enough to KO, I think. So, that's why I just prefer Crunch. I actually double shield that. Do I double shield my Gyarados? I think I do. I do. Okay. I do double shield it. It is Spatial Rend, so I am going to be able to farm back down, but no, Zacian comes in. But look, I have the Ho-Oh answer. Love to see it. Love to see it. They're going to go ahead and get off an attack, which should be a Behemoth Blade. It is. And I'll throw here. I don't think I could have gotten one more Incinerate throw before they made a move, so I'm just going to throw the Sacred Fire. Palkia is coming in. They will make it before I get off my Brave Bird, but that's okay. We'll let this go. Not that we have a choice, right? Gyarados farm down. Gyarados farm down, I believe. Yep, we're bringing Gyarados. Mega Metagross. We knew the Mega was in the back, and it is Metagross. Love to see it. I was hoping for a Groudon, but I'll take this as well. We actually get off an Aqua Tail as well. Yeah, I do believe Gyarados is the best Mega in this meta. It's just so strong. Especially with the Dragon Breath rework this season, which is crazy. Earthquake will KO me, but we'll be able to farm down with the Palkia. And now that Palkia comes in, and they're not going to make a spatial run. That's going to be a good game, very well played to my opponent. Okay, moving on to the next battle, battling a legend. Another Zacian. I'm telling you, I battled so many Zacian leads. Same play. Oh, they bring out Gyarados. Okay. Now, I could have baited here, but I'm like, they live it, so they might not shield, and they don't shield. So I'm glad I didn't bait. I'm glad I didn't bait that. So I will shield this, and it is going to be crunch, which is good. But they get the defense drop, which is really bad for me. You know, I think I could have flipped this matchup if they didn't get that crunch debuff. So really unfortunate for me. My opponent is going to shield that. I think I shield this. At this point, they throw Aqua Tails, though, right? Yeah. So I am going to go ahead and shield, maybe hoping they let it go. But no, they do shield. And they do get the farm down. I don't know. I think if I didn't get the defense drop, I think I could have had that. They get off an attack here, but we know they have Crunch, Aqua Tail, so obviously I'm not going to shield. I'm just hoping Ho-Oh can do well against whatever else is in the back, in addition to the Zacian. No, Palkia. Okay, tough. I definitely need to switch, right? Obviously. And I didn't get it. I am going to throw here once I charge up max energy, but I know an Aqua Tail is going to KO me now. Yeah, good game to my opponent. I don't know what I could have done differently. Honestly, it was just a tough one. I don't think I could have won that. They actually charged up so much energy. They have enough to get off a Spatial Ren. It didn't matter. They would have won with Zacian anyway. But yeah, I mean, that got that off there. And now full health Zacian, one attack. Close combat, obviously going to KO me. And that is going to be a great game to my opponent. Very well played. Let's move on to the next one. Mega Gyarados into Primal Kyogre. Love to see the lead because we do resist Waterfall. Zacian coming in. Love to see it. Love this. So my Ho-Oh is coming in. And they actually let me get an Incinerate through, which is really nice for me, actually. Because of that, I think I do go for another Incinerate to charge up more energy because they allowed me to sneak there. So now I will be able to get off the Brave Bird against the Kyogre. But the great thing here is that I don't even need Switch. I got it, but I don't even need it, right? Because I have two answers for that Primal Kyogre. So the Kyogre is coming in, and I do chuck that Brave Bird at it. Gonna do a lot. I don't anticipate a shield. I know I have Mega Gyarados, so they don't shield. Okay. Primarina. This is where Primarina is a problem. Because... yeah. Watch what happens. So, I do get off a couple Aqua Tails. Gonna be good for me. Obviously, I want to do as much damage as possible. But they realize I'm staying in. So, they probably figure I have a Dragon in the pack. Probably assuming the Palkia, to be honest. And I'm actually going to commit a shield here. And it's going to be a Hydro Cannon, but that's fine. I mean, we would have lived it, but it's fine. I do get off another Aqua Tail here. And this Aqua Tail is going to not connect, so I do switch into the Palkia. I'm going to go ahead and commit a shield because this Summoning Voice will do more. That's the way I looked at it. And out comes Primal Kyogre, but I do get off my Spatial Ren. Let's go. Let's go. Spatial Ren will be enough to KO. If they got off the Thunder... they would have ended up winning, but fortunately for me, they do not. So I do win. You thought I was going to lose that? I thought as I was battling, it was a little bit difficult, but no, we do actually. They do get to an attack. It will KO, but one Dragon Breath will be enough to knock out with the Mega Gyarados. So that is going to be a good game. Well played to my opponent. Yeah, really well done. Yeah, and that will be it for this video. Again, huge shout out to Caleb Pang for the amazing team. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.